Hi, it's Mark from Top Local. We're here with Bernie Pawlik, Pawlik Automotive in Vancouver, 21-time winners of Best Auto Repair in Vancouver, as voted by their customers. And of course, we're talking cars. How are you doing today, Bernie?
Doing well.
So, Ford trucks. Last week, the Insurance Bureau of Canada, which they do every year, announced the most stolen car list. So, kind of stuck out. Out of the top 10, 8 of them were Ford trucks. Why are Ford trucks being stolen so much?
Yeah, this is awesome for Ford. I mean, they've got like 80% of the top 10. That's really not a very good thing. But the reason they were stolen, there's very specific model years in that top 10, and they range from 2002 to 2007. They're F250 and F350's. All of those vehicles do not have an immobilizer system. So you can basically go in there with some pliers or a screwdriver, bang it into the ignition lock, give it a twist, and truck is yours.
So there must be a lot of other older vehicles that don't have immobilizers, because that was something that was legislated later on in the 2000s. So why F250's and 350's?
Excellent question. And I think the reason is probably mostly used for smash and grab theft. You know, trucks are awesome. You steal the truck, of course, you're not using your own vehicle for the theft. You're using something else. Of course, that makes 2 crimes, but you can go around with a truck and it's a big heavy duty beast. You can go bash, drive into, say, a warehouse, just drive right through the front door, drive in, grab some stuff, take off, leave your merchandise, abandon the truck somewhere later. And of course, the truck is kind of used for the theft. The other thing that I didn't mention, there's a top 50 list. And out of that top 50 list, 30% are Fords ranging from 1999 up to 2007. Interestingly enough, after 2007, there are none, which we'll talk about later. But, so if you have an F-150 and you think, oh, no one's going to steal that, well, they're in the list too. They're just a little further down. But the heavier duty ones there's more appeal to those. And there might be some parts stolen too as well.
So have you personally seen or repaired any stolen Ford trucks?
Yeah, we actually, we fix a wide variety of vehicles at our shop, and Ford trucks are among one of our more popular vehicles. And we actually have had a couple of customers' vehicles stolen. We have a road behind our shop. It doesn't happen very often, but over a period of a few years, we've actually had a few Ford trucks stolen, and easy to steal. Had a Ford van as well, where someone had fortunately not stolen the vehicle, but they snuck into the vehicle and broke the ignition lock. I guess they got spooked or something because they never got away with the vehicle. But this is it's obviously well known for thieves that these are easy vehicles to target. I'll say in one case, one of the trucks that was stolen was actually in for a head gasket job. It was a 6-liter truck, and the owner wasn't too sad that it got stolen because it saved him. Well, he was committed to doing the job, and it would be very expensive. But it's like, oh, well, it's too bad. I'll just get another truck. So sometimes, thievery works out, but it still ends up costing us all money in the end because the insurance company end up paying for that vehicle.
So is there anything that a Ford truck owner can do to prevent this kind of easy theft?
Well, there's definitely a couple of things you can do. So the first and the simplest thing you could do right now, if you hear this and you don't have any theft prevention, you can get yourself a club. You could go to an auto parts store. You can buy a club. It's one of those pieces you stick in the steering wheel, locks the steering wheel from moving, or you can get ones that also lock the brake pedal to the steering wheel. Those are a bit of a pain in the butt because every time you get out, you got to do it. But, it shows that, hey, this vehicle is protected and it's going to make it makes yours a harder vehicle to steal than the next one. Can those things be cut off? Sure they can, but it's a lot of extra work. Thieves will have to take extra tools. So if there's 2 trucks sitting side by side, guess what? The one without the club's the one that's going to get stolen. So that's the easiest thing you can do. You could order it online. You can go to an auto parts store. The second thing that's probably better but more work and more cost is to get an alarm or an immobilizer installed. There's a wide range of these. Again, you could buy it online and do it yourself if you know what you're doing, or take it, probably the best thing to do is find a reputable car audio place. Those are usually the places that do installations of alarms. Find a good one, get something put in, a good immobilizer, good alarm. It's a classic thing, where alarms go off and people ignore them. But the thing is, for a thief, once the alarm goes off, if it has an immobilizer, the vehicle won't start. It makes a lot of noise. And again, it makes it hard to steal. So those are kind of the 2 things you can do. And this doesn't apply just to a Ford truck. This applies to any vehicle. But, now that these are known to be, high theft items, if you value your vehicle, you'll want to do something about it to protect it.
Is there any good news here for Ford truck owners?
Well, the good news is if you have a Ford truck after 2008, they all have immobilizer systems in them. So they don't even make the top 50 list after 2008. So if you have an '08 and newer, you can rest easy because your vehicle has an immobilizer system in it. Doesn't mean it couldn't be stolen, but it's just not very likely.
So what other vehicles are in the top 10 and top 50?
Well, there's only two other vehicles in the top 10 list. One is, I believe it's around the 2017 model year Lexus, the SUVs, the RX 350, 450 hybrids. Those are, I believe, number 7. And these are stolen for a different reason. We're going to talk about this in a separate podcast. And then the other in the top 10 is a 1998 Honda Civic SI model. And again, different reasons for stealing those. That's kind of an old vehicle. It's a car, but there are specific reasons. So we'll do another couple of podcasts about this because they're, again, good things to talk about. Now, of course, those Lexus vehicles, they already have immobilizers and high-tech security systems. So why they get stolen, we're going to talk about that. It's a different subject.
And what about in the top other vehicles in the top 50?
You know, a lot of them are Hondas. A huge number are Hondas. I'll just give it away right now. A lot of them are older ones. They have a certain engine that people like. So these are stolen basically for the engine that people can put into for hot rodding other Hondas. I'd say that's the main reason. And the others on the list are luxury SUVs. There's a lot of Lexus. There's some Toyota Highlanders and Range Rovers. Range Rover Sports are in there too. So.
And what about protecting your key fob? Because key fob cloning is a thing. What about, is that something that's worth doing?
Absolutely. You know, this is actually only something that's sort of come to my attention recently over the last couple of weeks, I think, since these articles have come out and people have been talking to me about it. And the one thing I can say, and we're going to do a little more research on this, but they say never keep it close to your door because there's a way that, you know, thieves can actually, with electronic systems, can actually clone your key fob. And then they can actually start your vehicle and take it, which is probably how these Lexus vehicles are being stolen. But also, you know, any vehicle has a key fob. When you're walking away, say in a supermarket parking lot, you can, you know, walk away, you lock the car with the key fob. There are ways that key fob can be cloned, and then people can break into the vehicle and steal things, and then of course eventually steal the vehicle. So what's recommended is to actually use the manual lock button in the vehicle when you're walking away. That way it doesn't send a radio signal out. I don't know if that's possible to do with every single vehicle, but if you're able to do it, I mean, I have an older Suburban, and you know, that has I walk away with the fob, but I usually just lock it with the lock button, and that sets the security system off and everything too. So if you're able to do that, that's something and that's been talked about for many, many years. That, you know, so that's one thing I just leave you with. But we'll do more research on this. What
we can do to protect ourselves from being cloned.
Yes, exactly. That's right. Well, it's, you know, they make cars more difficult to steal, which is awesome. But, you know, that just ups the game for smart thieves.
So there you go. If you have a Ford truck and you want to get some advice about making sure it's hardened up a little bit to not be such an attractive target, give Pawlik Automotive a call. Check out the website, pawlikautomotive.com. Hundreds of articles on there. Pawlik Auto Repair is the YouTube channel. Thanks so much for watching. Give us a like, rate us on YouTube or on iTunes. Thanks so much for watching us on YouTube, and thanks, Bernie.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks for watching. It's always a pleasure.